Ki11ng of Gambino underboss gave the mob something it did not want: you attention. When word got out that a Gambino gangster had been shot dead outside his New York City home, Mayor Bill de Blasio reacted with surprise. But longtime mob watchers say the mafia hasn't gone away, it's just operating with a lower profile. The difference now, Gale said, is that mob families like the Gambinos are no longer led by headline-grabbing chiefs like John Gotti, aka the Dapper. Also, the mob is not rubbing people out like they used to, Gale said. In fact, said Gale, the fatal shooting of Kali on Wednesday is the first killing of a high-ranking mobster since the 1985 rub-out of then Gambino crime family head Paul Castellano outside a Manhattan steakhouse that was presided over by Gotti. That doesn't mean the mobsters have turned over a new leaf. Just this month, an alleged Gambino crime family associate named was charged with fatally shooting an elderly Brooklyn man in the head and then robbing him, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Also this month, a career criminal named Napoleon Nappy Andrade, who had recently been released from federal prison, was shot and killed outside a halfway house in Rhode Island. Among other things, Kali, 53, was an underboss in the Gambino crime family, two sources have told NBC News. Investigators suspect Kali may have been by a gunman who deliberately backed into the gangster's parked Cadillac SUV with a pickup truck. Surveillance video shows Kali emerging from his home in the Staten Island borough and shaking hands with the pickup truck driver, a source familiar with the investigation told NBC News. Then the license plate. Kali was hit by 6 of the 12 shots, said NYPD Chief of Detectives Dermot Shea. Investigators have not arrested a suspect and Shea wouldn't comment on a possible motive. But he said Kali's rub-out could be the result of a mob dispute. The mafia in New York City is still dominated by 5 families: Urbano, Colombo, Gambino, Genovese and Lucchese. And their tentacles all. Yet the 5 families are not as powerful as they used to be, experts said. Their leadership was crippled by a spate of convictions and defections in the 1980s and 1990s, and they have faced increased competition from rival Albanian and Russian crime organizations and Latin American drug cartels. While there have been reports that the Gambinos have been importing because American-raised recruits aren't up to the job, Gale said the structures of these criminal organizations are still intact and they have plenty of wannabe gangsters to choose from. But they're not exactly the cream of the criminal crop, said David Shapiro, a former FBI agent who now teaches at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Still, Shapiro said it does not surprise him that Kali might look for recruits in the old country because the fabled mafia code of silence isn't what it used to be.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.